Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the LCD screen assembly in the iPhone 6s. So the first thing you want to do is power off your iPhone. Next, what we need to do is use a pentalobe screwdriver size 0, and we're going to need to remove these two screws in the bottom of the phone right here. So go ahead and remove those screws. Next, what you will need is a suction cup like this. So first of all, you want to do is push down on the screen right here. You want to stay just above the home button. If you go over the home button, it won't suction very well. So what we need to do is stick it down there, and then we need to pry up gently. Just pull up a little bit. And as you can see right above the headphone jack here, there's a little notch in the screen. If you can get in there with something, I'm just going to use a little pry tool like this. And you can just kind of slip in under there. At the same time, you're keeping tension on here with your finger. This particular phone has been apart before, I can tell, so it doesn't have much adhesive on here, because the iPhone 6s has adhesive strips on the inside right here, so it might come apart a little harder than what mine's showing. So you just want to keep working it along the edges. Don't go in very far. If you use a pry tool like this, just use it a little bit at a time. And then you can see this is starting to separate. So let's go ahead and remove our suction tool right now. Now we're ready to gently lift this up. All the way, don't lift it past a 90 degrees. If you do more than a 90 degrees, you can end up tearing these cables up here, and we don't want to do that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and we're going to need to remove these 4 screws in this plate right here. So go ahead and remove those. Now that you've removed those screws, make sure you put them in the right order so you know how they go back together, because some of them are different sizes. Just pull this plate off of here, set it with your screws. Now next we're going to disconnect these connectors right here. We're going to do them in order, whichever one's on top. So the one that's furthest towards the bottom here, going to slip in here. I would recommend use something plastic or your fingernail or something. Don't use anything metal for this, because it could damage the connectors. So just go ahead and remove all 3 of those. They're kind of stacked in order like that, so you can see. And now that that's loose, you're free to take the screen off just like that, all the way. If this video was helpful to you so far, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot. I'll include links in the video description below the video for any tools that I'm going to be using on this repair today, or any parts that I'm going to be replacing. Anything that I think might be helpful to you, I'll include a link in the video description below the video, so check it out there. Next, what you want to do is use the Phillips screwdriver size 000 and remove these 3 screws right here in this plate right here. Now that you've removed those 3 screws, go ahead and grab this shield and just pull it off of there. Set it off with your screws. Next, what you can do is just carefully pull up on this right here. Then your earpiece speaker comes out. Then if you tip it forward, this part right here with the microphone in it is stuck down right here. This one has been apart before, I think, so it came off pretty easy. But you would just slide under there and get that loose from the adhesive like that. So next, to remove the home button, you need to use the Phillips screwdriver and remove these 3 screws right here. Now to remove this metal plate right here, you can just pry up. It has a little white nubbin right there that it catches on. And you slide it straight back, and then that comes out. Next, you want to use your Phillips screwdriver and remove 3 screws here. There's 1 up here, and then 3 on this side. And make sure to set them all in the right order so you know how they go back together. So then once that's loose, you can just grab it and pry it right off of there. Now the only other thing we need to swap over is our home button right here to our new screen. So now next I wanted to show you there's a little connector right here under this part. You can just get under it and pop it off. So that just pops loose like this. Now when you're replacing your screen, you're probably going to need to get a new rubber for this home button here, since they're only really good for one-time use, so you can have it stick in there good. So you just push that through, pull off your rubber here and put the new rubber back on, and then set it back in like that. Then you just want to reconnect your home button connector right there. So to reassemble, grab this shield, set it right down in here. Go ahead and put all your 7 screws back in. Next we'll want to put stuff back together here. So grab this plate, set it down here, just sneak it in under that shield right there. That peg right there lines it up where it needs to go. And go ahead and put your 3 screws back in. Next, to reinstall this part with the front camera, the proximity sensor, and the microphone, what we need to do is first of all set this down in here. I'm going to use my tweezers to show you, so my fingers can stay out of the way. And you want to set the microphone down in there where it goes. Make sure that it hooks on that peg right there. There's a spot for it to go. Now next we need to get the proximity sensor in here. It's a little bit of a pain sometimes. Grab your earpiece speaker. Set it right down in there like that. You can set your front camera in like this. Grab your shield, set it down here on top of this, and go ahead and put your 3 screws back in. Now to reassemble the LCD screen, let's grab it and tip it up here at a 90 degrees. Now you can see we have 3 different connectors here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the one that's on the bottom. Snap it in right here where it goes. Now these should be able to just press in with a soft click. You should be able to feel them and hear them. So do the second one. Then do the third one. Now before we put all our plates back on, we're going to test this phone by powering it on. You can see it's powering on okay. So you can see your touchscreen works, so you can go ahead and get out of that. Turn it back off. Now that we turned it back off, go ahead and get your screen back up at 90 degrees. Grab our little plate in here, set it on here, and then go ahead and put those 4 screws back in. So now that you got the 4 screws in this plate right here, now what you can do is gently set your screen down. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to try to show you, is we need to get these tabs in up here first. Tip the screen up like this carefully, and we need to get the front started first, like that. And then we can start just pushing this down all the way. Make sure it's good all the way down. Then go ahead and put your 2 bottom screws back in. Now that you got your bottom screws back in, go ahead and power on your device. And again, make sure everything's working and you're all set. Thanks for watching.